So, welcome to the second part of this subset of the mini series, which is on scarcity and abundance mindset. Today, we're going to drill into what a scarcity mindset is. Yesterday, we talked about what an abundance mindset is, and this is part of the overall money series where we started looking at big picture vision, and now we're looking at mindset before we get into some of the strategies. So, before we get into the nuts and bolts of scarcity mindset, a few caveats. I am conscious that we are in a cost of living crisis, especially in the UK. And so this stuff is sensitive. And what I don't want to do is mix up genuine difficulty and scarcity with what it is to have a scarcity mindset when there are means available and when basic needs and Maslow's hierarchy of basic needs have been satisfied. It's really important to draw that distinction. And as you're listening, you may have an element where you think, well, that may or may not be possible in my particular context. And so, what you'll probably need to do is take what you can from this that's useful and leave the rest. And what I don't want to do is undermine anyone who is in genuine financial difficulty. You may want to skip over this, or you may want to understand it and understand what some of the implications are, but also be really, really gentle with this concept as well. So, using again one of the more easily available definitions of a scarcity mindset, that would be having a pervasive feeling of not having enough, whether that is time, money, love, confidence, worthiness, all of these things, feeling attractive, right? All of these things can be part of a scarcity mindset. And we may have areas in our life where we have more of a scarcity mindset. Did I mention love? That would be another one, and that affirmation, and feeling loved. So having a scarcity mindset can therefore be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you have a scarcity in one of these areas, you may find it difficult to move forward, and therefore you actually stay stuck in that scarcity. And I will drill into some specific examples of this, because I think that's one of the most useful things about understanding a scarcity mindset and where it may be holding you back. And we have acknowledged, though, that if you are struggling to meet your basic needs for food, housing, paying bills, then that is not a scarcity mindset. A shift in mindset is not going to shift that. That requires physical resources to address. Um, if you have grown up in poverty, in true scarcity, this also has been researched to have implications, for various things, whether that is your mental health, behavioral issues. There are implications of this, and more recently, they've found that when people are fixated on scarcity, it impacts decision making. So there is a direct connection between being in a scarcity mindset and decision making ability. Now, what we're not here to say is that adopting an abundance mindset is going to magically solve all of your problems, but it may help you see things in a different way, and it might give you another way of coping with or solving your problems. So, what are some signs of a scarcity mindset? I am referring to an article by Theodora Blanchfield here, and I'm going to give some of her examples, and then I'm going to give some others that I come across. So, one example is always feeling behind. Another is that bills and other responsibilities pile up. Uh, Now, in that context, she makes the point that actually some feelings and effects of scarcity mindset are actually just really similar to those of depression and other mental health issues. Because scarcity can lead to other mental health issues, all of these things start to get really intertwined. She gives the example of overscheduling yourself. Now, one counter take to that one, I would say, is that if you have a really strong sense of time abundance, and I do know people like this, you may overschedule yourself because you have a sense that time is abundant and that you will have time for everything. So these things can have, different interpretations. The one that I think is probably more common that I see is saying yes to opportunities that are not right for you because you're afraid that others won't come. This can then be linked to overwork. and a sense that it's important to sometimes do overwork at the expense to the detriment of your well-being, because there won't be other opportunities, or because if you don't for some reason fulfill that, then there will be a scarcity impact on you, such as, you have fear around losing your job and things like that. So those are some of the examples that she gives. And I just want to jump over to some of the examples that I had captured as well. Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting here is that, and I think this is a fun shift that we can make, is I notice this a lot when it comes to generosity with compliments and with gratitude. And so taking the time to be really grateful to people, whether it is because we've been to somebody's party, or because somebody has helped us in a particular way, or that our kids have been at their house for a play date. This is such a simple way of showing gratitude, but gratitude and abundance and scarcity mindset are all really linked. Really taking the time to engage in that external gratitude practice is really important. The other one is around just being generous with compliments. And this is a funny one because, as I mentioned, you can have a scarcity mindset on many dimensions. And so, for example, if you have a scarcity mindset on a particular dimension, it may encourage feelings of competition rather than cooperation. And that can make it then harder for you to be able to deliver the compliments that you can observe, but are feeling, restricted in giving. And so I've certainly picked up on that in certain individuals that have, you can tell that they have struggled perhaps to be generous with their words. And I wonder whether you have noticed that in people in your worlds. Other examples: when you have the means, not investing in yourself. Now, obviously, I'm going to say this one, but not investing in a coach when you need one, right? And you do have the means, not paying for additional support that you need. And again, when you physically have some available money, okay, I appreciate there are many different uses for that. But the really simple example of, let's say that you had a little bit of money to invest in some additional childcare or some additional help, and you knew that doing so would greatly improve your relationships with your kids, with your partner, and give you some really much needed headspace so that you could have that reflective time, space, energy to be able to dream bigger, perhaps when it came to your work, or your career, or your life. But the scarcity mindset is keeping you from spending that money. You are likely in that instance to then keep yourself stuck. So that is the sort of example where being able to apply different lenses and check yourself can be really helpful. I don't want to advocate that one way is right or wrong. I don't want to sort of almost open up that debate. What I want to offer here is that when you are doing your decision making and you've done some of the logical elements of that decision making, that you then have in your toolbox some additional ways of thinking about this that might open up a different response. I also want to touch on the nervous system response that can go on when it comes to money, when it comes to other forms of scarcity, because we may know somebody who's a little bit avoidant, for example, when it comes to money. And it may be that they have had certain experiences growing up. They may have had certain stress associations between money and stress, or feelings of guilt, negative beliefs around money, feelings that they will never have enough. And the thing about the nervous system is that obviously the nervous system regulates our response to perceived danger. And so if that nervous system is activated because we have this stored memory of those associations, then we may have others might perceive as an irrational response in relation to, for example, money. So if you are noticing that either you are feeling blocked around topics when it comes to money, getting more intimate with your money, as the money wealth experts like to say, or that your partner is like that, then you may want to look a little bit deeper and to see if there are some more subconscious responses and associations going on here that link very much to that scarcity and that sense of lack. And really importantly, the connection between a lack of safety, where you've experienced a lack of feeling safe when it comes to, for example, money, and how that has impacted then your nervous system and therefore your response when those topics come up. What can then happen is that these sensations are stored up and then they can be unleashed at unexpected times unless we've done the work to address these. And so I think that's all I wanted to say around this. What I want to leave you with is, again, some observation, starting to observe where you might have some lack or scarcity narratives. You know, or perhaps you have some phrases that you can now see are more associated with a sense of scarcity, and just start to notice them again. It may well be, and I want to really emphasize this, it may well be that the circumstances are such that there is a physical lack or there is a gap in resources and things like that. But let's say that there isn't. Then is there a different way, and one that doesn't speak to that scarcity mindset? I wanted to give some personal examples. The first time I came up against this concept, or that I came into contact with this, was I'd finished my master's and I was thinking of turning that research into a book. And I talked to a friend from the master's and I said to her, I feel like this is it's now or never for this book. Like, this is the time. And she pointed out that could be a bit of a scarcity mindset approach because there was that sense that the opportunity was very finite. And that really got me thinking. That was the first time I'd heard the expression, I think, five years ago, maybe. And it really got me thinking about how we view scarcity and how we view opportunities in our lives. And there are going to be times when a scarcity mindset is actually the appropriate mindset. If there are tickets going on sale and there is a limited amount and it's a really something that you really want to do, you want to have some impatience there. You want to have some activation to be able to go and secure the limited pool of tickets. Often, however, we are thinking quite small when it comes to these things. And if we were able to think a little bit bigger and broader, we would feel comfortable that there is enough opportunity to go around. I think podcasting is a lovely example of this. Podcasting is a very collaborative world because people listen to lots of podcasts. And so, if I recommend somebody's podcast, they may well listen to that podcast instead of my podcast. But as far as I'm concerned, it's all one sort of abundant pot that we can all tap into. And so I think that it is an environment that encourages this. It may be that you're in a particular culture at work that either does emphasize that or doesn't, and it might be interesting to notice that. I've certainly observed that when I'm coaching people from different parts of the world, there may be more of a sense of a scarcity mindset entrenched at work. And not. And again, just to point out that sometimes it can be in the interest of organizations to promote more of a scarcity mindset, to promote that competition, to promote a sense of insecurity, a need to sort of feel like you have to clamp down, because all of that plays to the organization really being able to get the most out of their individuals. And so, want to put it out there that it may not be your organization or people within your organization that challenge your scarcity or fixed or abundance mindset. So I think that's all that I wanted to share on scarcity. And what we're going to do in the next couple of sessions is think through what some practical steps are to start embodying more of an abundance mindset, what it specifically can mean for high achievers, and also where we may want to be a little bit wary with these concepts so that we can use them to their best effect and not just throw caution to the wind. So I hope that has been helpful. Let me know what you think. Let me know perhaps something that has been identified for you, a penny drop moment where you've realized perhaps that you do have a little bit more of a scarcity mindset that you would like. And as always, do share. If you think there's someone that can benefit from this episode, please send them the link or screenshot this. I would be really grateful if you could do that. So I look forward to connecting with you next time. Bye bye.